All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to move towards actually setting up one of the bays to do a photographic session. First thing we need to do is get our sweep. So we're going to do a small sweep first. We're going to come over to our box. And from the box of sweeps, we're going to go ahead and grab one out. I'm going to grab this nice white one. You see when I pull it out, it's got rubber bands on it, and it's nice and tight to the core. Got to keep them tight so that it'll get wrinkled up, right? So we always put 2 rubber bands, one on each end. So now we come up to our horizontal pole. It's going to hold this sweep paper in place. Pick it up out of the clamp, slide it on. Put the pipe back into the clamp, and then what I suggest to everybody is you very loosely snug that up. Don't crank it down too tight. If you crank it down too tight, you'll actually bend the pipe, and if you take a good look at our pipes, you'll notice that they've got bends in them. So just snug. We just don't want it to slip out of these clamps, okay? So now you'll notice that I put this paper roll onto here in a very specific direction. We need the sweep to come under the roll, not over the roll. If it comes over it, it won't hang properly. We need it to hang down nice and straight. Now before I pull these rubber bands off, I'm going to go ahead and grab a spring clamp. I got this from one of the milk crates over on the bookshelves in the far left corner. I'm going to take the clamp and I'm just going to loosely clamp it here right now so it holds onto it for me. I'm going to come over to this side of the sweep paper and I'm going to pull the rubber bands off and out of the way. You don't want the rubber bands to come back up underneath the core. If they do, they'll bind all up and the sweep won't roll properly. So now we'll pull the one off the other side. Now from the center, using 2 hands, I'm going to gently pull the paper roll down, being very careful not allowing it to crease or crinkle. We're going to pull that down to wherever we want it to be. We're going to take that spring clamp and we're going to clamp through the center of the core back to the pipe. That keeps this from rolling down. Now, this right now is a little bit short. We need this to hold down. We put another set of clamps down on the bottom of it, but typically the weight of the paper is going to be enough to hold it in place. Now, I'm a fairly tall individual, so right now this would probably need to go up a little bit. Making sure the paper rolls down, not over, all right? So if we're doing a headshot, if we're doing a 3/4 torso, or if we're doing a bust shot, we do not need the paper to come all the way down to the ground because we're not photographing the ground. We want to try and keep the traffic off of the paper as much as possible because when it gets all dirtied up, I got to cut it off and just throw it away. All right, so this would be good again for a headshot, a bust shot, or a 3/4 torso shot, all right? So once we're done with our shoot, we got to put this thing away, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to grab hold of the tube, move our clamp out of the way. Now I'm going to gently start to roll this back up. When we do this, we don't want the paper to cone off this direction or that direction. We want it to go completely straight. A lot of times what I do is I stand towards the center and I do an over-under with my hands to roll the paper back up onto the roll. I'm kind of doing a ratcheting motion. One hand goes up, the other hand goes down. So we just keep rolling it right back up. Once it's in place, we're going to come to the end, grab it very gently and make sure it's nice and tight. Now we're going to grab our rubber band, put it back over it, holding it in place. We go to the other side, place that rubber band back in, top of the tube. We come over here, we remove our spring clamp out of the way. We loosen our clamp that's holding the pipe so that we can lift the pipe out. We slide the paper roll back off of the pipe. Snug the super clamp back up so the pipe can't fall down. We bring the sweep back over into the box. Into the box that it came out of that's matched for it. Okay? So that's a small portraiture sweep and how we hang it up properly.